I am ecstatic to have Bijal Patel with us today. Bijal is a world-class brand strategist and business coach. I've known Bijal for a little while now, and she is one of my favorite people to follow on social media.
No.
So, Bijal, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm here. I'm in the online space. I'm helping small online business owners like yourself. Doug, it's been exciting to be watching and alongside just seeing how online social media, sales, marketing, branding, all of that has evolved in the last couple years. And I just can't wait to see what ends up happening next.
Nice. I like to start off these interviews with just some like random questions that aren't even really business related, just kind of getting to know you questions. So first off, you are the first Texan entrepreneur I've interviewed on the show. So congratulations for that.
Wow.
Hook 'em horns, right? So what is the best thing about being a Texan or Texas?
So I love this question. I'm glad that we're starting with some like irreverent fun because we need that. We need some entertainment in this world. So I'm not originally from Texas. I've been here though for about 12 years. So I'm now a citizen. Like you don't just move to Texas, you become a citizen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm originally like more so from South Florida.
Okay.
Area. So it took me a while to get used to Texas, but you know that saying that everything is bigger in Texas, it really is true. So like if you come here and you eat like a cinnamon roll at brunch, it's like 4 times the size of a normal cinnamon roll. Or if you get like a margarita here, like 32 ounces is like a normal size.
Wow.
And everything's bigger here. And they're not joking. Your house, your car, the streets, like your cinnamon roll, everything is bigger. So that's my favorite part.
So if you order a cinnamon roll for breakfast, know that it's to share with the family, right?
Or you can finally cheat on whatever diet you're in because you're in Texas and you don't have to like take the calories with you when you leave.
Nice. Follow-up question. You said South Florida. What part of South Florida?
West Palm Beach.
Okay. I grew up in the Fort Myers area on the Gulf Coast. So
you did? I lived there for a couple years. I lived there for like 3 years when I was little.
Nice. Wow.
Yeah. Great area.
Learn something new every day, right?
There we go.
So speaking of Florida and destinations, destination you have on your to-go list.
Is this like an aspirational destination or is this like, where am I flying to next?
Aspirational.
Let's see. I think the next, well, we just finished Turks and Caicos for my 40th birthday.
Wow.
And that was aspirational for a while. I think the next thing on my list would be Iceland or Portugal. Like I want to be able to go to something that's out by Europe, somewhere there where I can take the kids. So Iceland might be a little bit too rugged for them to go at their age. So let's say Portugal.
Nice. Yeah. Very different destinations, Iceland and Portugal.
Yeah, you had me pick one. So like, Maldives is on there, but we just did Turks and,
nice.
After the COVID pause for 2 years, we're pretty big travelers. And so I want to be able to take my kids to all these different countries to be able to experience the culture that's there, the culture, the food, the language, the personas. Like I want them to be able to understand that there are 8 billion people in the world and we're very different from each other in some ways. And we're also really the same. So yeah, that's my
no better way to learn culture than to immerse yourself in it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you learn things from being in a space that you'll never get from watching a show or reading about it or looking at someone else's pictures. You'll never get that. It's the intangibles of travel.
Yeah, awesome. I love to travel as well. So speaking of your kids, what's the funniest story that you have about your kids?
Oh my God. My kids I tend to post on it on social media a lot. I'll tell you the most recent one. I don't know if I can pick funniest because they're all, every time they come out with something, but the other day, my son Jahi, who just turned 5, so he was 4, we were laying down and he asked me just randomly, he's like, Mommy, do you have another baby floating in your stomach? And I was like, for a second, I was like, no, I was like, don't ask a woman that. No. And then he's like, well, how did the other babies hatch in your stomach? How the other eggs hatch in your stomach? And I was like, oh, honey, like we're not chickens. Like we're a little bit different. So there's this thing that's the egg and then there's the sperm. And I kind of explained, sperm is kind of like a tadpole because we've seen tadpoles, in the different swamp. And we've explained they turn into frogs. And so he's like, well, how does the sperm get into the egg? And I was like making the motion of what happens. And he's like, oh, it's like knock, knock, who's there? And I was like, that's exactly it, honey. It's like knock, knock, who's there? And then I started going into like twins and fraternal twins versus identical, to kind of go off that, that kind of, let's talk about meiosis and mitosis section. And he brought it back home and he's like, but how did the sperm get in there? And I was like, all right, that's it. No, thank you. No more questions.
Class dismissed. Wow, nice. For another time when you're a little older.
I was like, Daddy, where's Daddy? Like, what? There was a bottle of wine and there was some good music.
Nice. So I've been following your online journey for a while, almost from the beginning.
Yeah.
So I want everyone else to kind of get filled in on your story, like how you got to where you are now and what you did preceding this. So if you could just kind of tell us your story, the cliff notes. I know there's a lot in there. So
yeah. So okay, I'll take it back and give you the cliff note version. So I originally had done computer science in college. Like I was, I'm Indian, I'm second generation here. My parents are like, do not be a broke artist. Whatever you do, do not be a broke artist. So I was given two paths: go be a pharmacist or go do computer science. And pharmacy was not going to cut it. So I went and did computer science for a while. Ended up taking a course in interior design that was AutoCAD at that time, learning how to do the actual blueprints of a house or a building. Learned that in Photoshop in my junior year, fell in love, wanted to quit computer science and switch to interior design. That's when HGTV was on and popping, and I knew exactly what I was going to do. My parents came down, they were like, absolutely not. So I went to my brother, who was older, who always had my back. My brother was like, absolutely not. What are you smoking? You're 6 months away from finishing computer science, just finish it. So I didn't have any family support, shockingly, from even my brother. I went back. I decided to do what I was told, finish out my Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, went and got a job doing computer programming for a company in Atlanta. Did it for a couple of years, was really good at what I did, absolutely hated it. I promise you, I did not look like any of the guys who were wearing Microsoft t-shirts and Sun Microsoft system t-shirts with holes on. I'd come all dressed in heels, ready to go. So I know you do sales and you help people learn sales, Doug. So they wanted to craft me into their saleswoman, right? They wanted to bring me out, have me talk to the customers, all of that. But one day I was driving to work, hated my job at this time, thought it was so boring. And I saw a big blue neon sign that said Savannah College of Art and Design. Literally veered off the road, came to the school, they were doing tours, and I learned I could do interior design through their program where they would accept my credits from what I did in my undergrad. So within a couple months, I quit that job. I got accepted into Savannah College of Art and Design, which is a top tier art and design program, super good program. They just opened their Atlanta campus, went to school to do interior design. Went in there, absolutely fell in love with it, was this is it, this is my passion. So I ended up graduating from that. And then I did hotel interior design for a little bit after that. And then I did some government work. And then I did ultimately corporate interior design. So everything related to office spaces. So fast forward this to a couple of years ago, I did, worked with a lot of Fortune 500 companies, worked with a lot of startups, had switched some companies around, had done all of that, worked for the really the best company in the world, the number one, worked for someone local who was in town, who had worked in the federal government. Like I said, I had done all those different things. Well, now comes September 2019. September of 2019. Yeah. I just had my second child and I was breastfeeding him, and I got pulled into the office with my boss at the time, and they sat me down and they were like, hey, we don't think you're a fit anymore. And I was like, with what? I was like, I really thought the camera was going to come in. You got to understand, Doug, I just got a pay raise the year before, and I was basically my boss's favorite designer. I got all the best projects. I was brought on to all the best projects. I was the clutch employee. So when they said that, I paused. I'd never been fired in my life. And I looked and I was literally waiting for the camera. I was like, this is a prank. And I was like, wait, but I just won us the $25 million renovation downtown at the Class A building. And they were like, and we really appreciate you for that, Bijal, but you're no longer a fit. And I'm like, what happened? They're like, I don't know, something changed. I was like, okay. So I had a second child. So that changed for them. So packed up my stuff, drove home, absolutely bawling, crying. All I wanted to do was to be a good hard worker in corporate America and take the ladder up. I never wanted a business. I did not want to be an entrepreneur. I do not care about my name and my face being on the brand. I did not want any of that. I just wanted to work for a really good company and like earn my stars and stripes. After that moment where I thought I lost it all, to me, my identity was wrapped up in success. So when they said you weren't good enough, I took it really personally. A couple months after that, after interviewing at a bunch of places in town, it finally hit me that I'm unemployable and I have to start my company Launch. Started up Launch and realized that I wanted to build a culture where there could be moms or dads who had to manage the home front too, while also being super ambitious. I wanted people who could thrive and be able to do both. Launch. We did a commercial interior design for about a year. Then came March of 2020. By the way, we hit 6 figures in that first year. So I felt really cool, felt on top of the world. I was like, I'm going to crush it. Boom comes COVID. The business had already slowed down and I knew commercial real estate was going to get wrecked. That's when I met you. I joined this online mastermind program, had no idea what it was, only used Facebook to post about my kids every week or so, every 2 weeks, didn't even know how to use Messenger. And suddenly then boom, in 2020, I'm online and watching all these people post up their logos. And I'm like, man, these online people, businesses don't seem to really understand brand. So I thought I was going to bring interior design online and I was waiting for that offer to take off, which it never did. But then suddenly branding just started to it just got momentum. And I thought I would do it as a filler. Someone challenged me in our mastermind group to say, what if you took 90 days and you exclusively just focused on it? And I said, all right. And I gave it a go and I haven't looked back since. So we did the branding. We do branding for online businesses. We do it for some brick and mortar businesses too. But then I started adding in the business coaching part. So here's where we've been at now for the last 2 years. So that's my journey in a summary.
Yeah. I have a couple comments on what you shared. First off, you skyrocketed. As I say, I've been following your journey and you went basically from just getting online to, it's appropriate your company's called Launch because you launched into the stratosphere really well. So applauds to you for that. That was amazing. And just to go back, Savannah College Art and Design, I've been to Savannah and they basically own the town.
They do own the town.
Yeah, you go into any of the old buildings. Oh, the college owns that. The college owns that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's an amazing town. It's an amazing town.
It's beautiful.
There was something else that you said in there, but I'm not remembering what I want to say about it. But you have just been awesome launching. So now let's get into what you're an expert in. Let's talk about branding.
Yeah.
You're a world-class expert. And I know you're super passionate about it. So what makes up a strong brand?
What makes up a strong brand is when you, as the owner of the brand, are super clear on your vision. You have to be clear on your vision. And I know that sounds frou-frou, woo-woo, intangible. Oh, Lord, I did a worksheet on that 2 years ago. No. We got to be HD, like high definition, like TV. Like picture you're in Best Buy and you're looking at the newest TVs and then it occurs to you that your TV at home sucks. I want you to have that kind of feeling with your vision. Okay. So your vision, knowing what does your brand stand for? What are you all about? What are you going to change in the world? Why does your business exist? And then why and how are you going to create that impact? When you get that 30,000 foot level aligned with your vision and you're clear on that, you are unstoppable as a brand. You're absolutely unstoppable. And I'm really clear on this because you can change your offer. You can pivot your avatar or your niche. It doesn't all fall apart. That's not it, guys. That's not the reason that things fall apart. I've seen other brands too. Let's talk about the other side. I have worked with so many brands who are monetarily highly successful. Like they are making 100K months, 250K months. Like they're putting up some real nice numbers. That's like a 1 million to 3 million run rate, even 5 million run rates, because they have multiple businesses. They're not satisfied. They're not happy. They're not fulfilled. They're really not at peace, even though they're working 20 hours a week. That 20 hours a week is like hard labor in like a prison. It's not like your 20 hours a week where they're chilling and thinking about, I'm going to have Friday off with my kids, or I'm going to take this staycation with my wife. Like, they're not paying attention to their wife. They're snapping at their kids. The revenue comes in the door and the money starts to actually become something they resent, oddly enough. So what I like to push people on is like, when you don't have the revenue numbers and you're in that survival stage, which I've been at, and I've helped a lot of people through it, all you can think about is, how can I just please get me to 20K, get me to 30K, get me to my next revenue level so I can breathe. A lot of these other businesses who thought they had a brand, but they really have a transaction-based business, they get a lot of customers, they get success really fast. They're on that parabolic curve up. They can't help but sell everything out. They can't recruit a team that's excited about what they do. They can't find the joy in where they're at. No level of success feels good enough. So their self-worth is still super low. So to just tie it all back together, the brand is not based on how much revenue you bring in the door. That's the furthest from the truth. Your business turns into a brand when your vision is so clear. When we can get behind your business and the vision is clear, we then can apply focus to that clarity. And then from the focus to that clarity, we can then take a look at it and hold ourselves accountable to taking that next step so that our vision starts to actually become a reality. Because what's the point of having these dreams and not have them actually turn into something that you look back on and you're proud of? So I would say vision is where it starts from. It starts and ends at vision, and vision creates certainty within your audience, and the certainty within your audience creates trust.
Wow. That was powerful, especially the part about a lot of people think it's chase the revenue. You're not going to be fulfilled chasing the revenue, right?
Nope. Especially when it's not aligned. So I'll often pull people back and realign them on an offer or an avatar that they love serving. So that way, because I know my entire job is to understand people's dreams, their visions, where they want to go, and then hold them accountable to get to that next level. So when I hear where they actually want to go, it's oftentimes it starts out with a revenue number because it's the easiest to say, hey, I'm at 30K months. I really want to get to 50. I'm at 50. I want to be at 80. You're at 80. You got to be at 100. When you hit 100K months, 200K doesn't exist. You want to go straight to 250. So it just becomes you chasing as opposed to you being aligned with what is your actual purpose for being put on this planet. And when that happens, the electricity, the passion, the energy that comes out of people, it creates brand momentum. It creates that flywheel. Everyone is so excited to be chasing. It creates it on its own. You have your intrinsic energy that gets you out there.
Nice. That's so awesome. Next, I know you have a training called what is it called? Empower your empowered voice. I know it's a paid training that you offer, so I know you don't want to give away too much, but can you kind of tell us what that's all about?
Yeah, absolutely. I never feel like I give away too much. Like I'd rather give more and someone go and apply it is like how my modus operandi is. Like, that's my MO. I'll give you everything in the moon and stars, but do this. Don't get high off the information I gave you. Go and apply just one piece. And that'll be like a thank you back for what I'm giving away here. So your empowered voice, what that is when we can take someone and tap them into their highest and best level. So let's use you as an example, Doug. When is a moment recently in the last 3 months that you've just felt like you were on fire?
Pick a day. I feel like I'm on fire a lot. But mostly it's around client results, right?
Yeah.
When clients are getting results, that's when I'm on fire.
Okay. So imagine one of those moments when you just find out your client comes to you and is like, Doug, Thank God that I'm with you. Thank God you put me on this program. I know I was waffling at the price and wasn't sure. Thanks for getting me to where I'm at. I've had this, and this happen. And now my wife's happy again. My kids are happy. We have more money than we can ask for. And now we're growing the team. That moment right then, the next thing, Doug, that you say and you do or you post is going to be you speaking from your empowered voice. What that means is you will say whatever needs to be said, however you need to say it, no bars held, because you're out there to save other people and to empower them to get to their next level. It literally has nothing to do with you. You're almost the missionary. It has nothing to do with you. You are purely the missionary, the messenger, and you are carrying out what you were put on this planet to do. So when we get people tapped in to their empowered voice and they're not worried how many likes they got or how many people watched my live and, oh, 2 people wanted my 2-step and they wanted my freebie, they don't care. They don't care because you come back and back and back and back. There's a consistency to the game you play because that message tied into your vision has got to come through you so you can impact people in another way.
I have a follow-up question on that. So it's kind of anti-imposter syndrome, right? We go through, as entrepreneurs, we go through cycles, ups and downs in how we feel. Like we're at that high when we're getting the client results, but then we'll have a bad day or something will go wrong in our day. How do we maintain that empowered voice?
You maintain the empowered voice by, first of all, you have to give yourself grace. I believe in yin and yang. Like yin and yang is like a personal philosophy of mine, and I've applied it to business. There is no light without shadow. There is no winning without losing. There is no success without failure. There is no record months without record lows. Everything is delivered to you exactly how it's supposed to be. So if you're having, let's pick the opposite, right? Let's say a client comes to you and is like, I want a refund. You suck. Your program didn't work. I'm having the worst months of my life. And you're like, give yourself grace to say, how do I handle this situation? Handle the situation like you would want it handled if you're that person. Handle it, get it done, get it out the door, and let yourself feel the emotions through it. Once you're done respecting that was a dub, not a dub, it was an L. You got an L. Today sucked. Today wasn't where I wanted it to be. Give yourself space and time and the grace that you would give someone you're coaching or you would give your accountability partner.
Nice.
We're so often not able to do that for ourselves. So once you can do that, and then the next day, wake up in the morning, revisit your vision, revisit the wins of the people you've helped. And remember, if one person in 100 people isn't happy, are you going to sacrifice 99 people's contentment, progress, and you got them up the hill because one person couldn't make it? Who are you going to be? So you anchor yourself back into your identity of wins. There's no person on the planet who's constantly using their empowered voice. It's going to go up, it's going to go down, but make sure that you're trying to create an environment and create healthy, good habits, good mindset habits too, that bring you back up. Because when you speak from that place, people are literally magnetized to you. They come to you. There's no work that needs to be done. Marketing is superfluous when branding is in play. When your branding is dialed in and out there, you don't need marketing, you don't need sales. It just slides in the door. People are like, which program, how much, let's get this thing going. There's the credit card's like under their leg, like they're ready.
Yeah, it makes me think of Apple, right? Apple just because of their brand, people buy just from the brand name alone.
Oh yeah, I don't have to look to see another option for phone. I just wait. I only pick between Apple's different product lines to say, do I want the Max or the Super Duper Max? And I'm like, what's the difference here? And of course, I pick Super Duper Max because I'm a world-class brand. So if my phone is not on point, I think of myself as their brand is, I'm borrowing credibility from their brand. That's how people view you too. So some people are going to end up buying your product because they want to borrow your credibility. They want a piece of your brand recognition and your reputation. So remember, it's something like Apple's just the best example for that.
Yeah, that's awesome. So where can the audience go to find out more about you and more about Launch and what you have to offer?
Absolutely. You can find us on Instagram. We're at Bijal, which is BIJAL .launch. So you can find me there. We post a lot. We also have a free Facebook group. And that you can find me through my personal page, which is also at Bijal, BIJAL .launch if you want to find me on Facebook. And we also have a website. We have www.welaunch.design.
Yeah, I checked out your website. It is amazing. I really like it.
Oh, thanks. Well, we do brand design, so we gotta make sure that
gotta represent, right?
We gotta represent. Yeah. Yep. We want
Nice.
to represent a world-class brand in this online space. So
nice. So any parting words for our entrepreneurs?
Let's see. I always feel like I come up with something different because I want it to really be meaningful. Okay, this is going to be the one. I'm just gonna say it again because there's a lot of good information online right now. It's not what the marketing people want to tell you, that this person sucks, this person's amazing, follow this guy, don't follow her. It's really not that. That's a marketing game. Okay. Understand, we're not marketing, we're branding. So I can say that. It's not that person sucks and this person's great. It actually has all to do with you. Anytime you experience movement in your mind or body and you feel like alive through someone's words, do yourself a favor and do one thing that inspired you through what they said or that they told you to act on. You'll win every single time. That's my super clutch secret trick, which sounds really boring. Just do one thing, act on one thing they told you, and you will forever be rich from that wisdom.
Yeah, that's awesome advice. It's like it'll create momentum, right? If you do that consistently, it's just momentum.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, you have delivered so much value. Thank you so much, Bijal. And until next time, keep moving forward.